What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sonoma, where fourth gear doesn't matter. So we are in the Xfinity car. Saturday Night Racing League is its Challenger Series is here at Sonoma this weekend, and the gents and ladies racing said series said, "Hey, we wouldn't mind a track guide if you've got one." So you'll find two track guides on my channel for NASCAR at Sonoma. One of them was from a couple of years ago when the Outsider Racing League ran here. I actually ended up winning that race, but that was in the next-gen car, several seconds faster than this one, about 5 seconds faster around the track than the Xfinity car, and so pretty different beast. I've only done around 10 laps or so here, so I can't say that I am Mr. Fast yet, but what I can give you is all the pointers, the things to look for, and the things to watch out for. 10 laps was enough to teach me some stuff. So of course, it's the NASCAR short. I am using the default iRacing Sonoma setup, and I have the weather set. I'll put the weather up on the screen in a moment, but sort of default clear. I think it's 29 Celsius, whatever that is. I think it's 90 or so track temp. We'll look at that. I'm not sure what I have on temperature. So the time isn't the part that matters so much. It's the braking markers and sort of what to watch for and what to watch out for. So that's what we'll be trying to teach you here today. So, number one thing to watch out for today is wheel hop. There are two first gear corners, and wheel hop is incredibly easy. I'll call them out. Let's go. I'm going to go to second. I'm going to short shift to third. It wants to get loose right there. I'm never going to go to fourth. Never going to go to fourth. I'm aiming at the tower, and I'm on the brakes, and I'm down to second. And I'm going to ride this curbing right here and then cut right over, sort of aiming for the exit. What I'm looking for there is the end of those bleachers, and then same thing up here coming out of this AB complex. I'm compromising left and then looking for the edge of the bleachers and back on the gas and trying to ride this rumble strip and then brake at the beginning of the access road to the right and then ride this curb a bit. Don't have to murder it. And unlike on TV, you don't need to go out hopping that curve. You'll be really tempted because it looks cool. You see guys do it on TV all the time, but it's no faster in iRacing as far as I can tell to go way wide there. What you will do is kill your tires, end up in the wall, etc., etc. It's bad news out there. All right, short shift to third. Let's talk through the final braking marker up here, and then we'll keep focusing on different parts of the track as we go around.
Slower than your best.
So I want to get onto this rumble strip on the way out, looking for this dip, down to second, down to first. To prevent wheel hop, I want to get the RPM way down, listening for the RPM to dip really low. Up to third, never fourth, aim at the tower.
That last lap was a 124.21.
I was a little bit lazy there.
1.9 off your best.
All right, now aiming for the end of the bleachers, back on throttle, try to track out, don't drift it too much. And then same thing here, I'm going to compromise left, keep it tight left, and then back out, hop this just a little bit, aim for the edge of the bleachers, back on throttle, ride this rumble stick, brake at the first cone on the right, and then ride that curb and back on the throttle.
Off your pace.
When this wall changes color right there, when it goes from dark concrete to light concrete, that's your braking marker. First gear around here, but short shift to second, and then hop these curbs here on the right so that you can be set up to ride this one a bit, and then ride this one a bit, opening up to short shift to third. Ride this curb and then get on the brakes early.
Off your best in sector
to get over. That was a little bit bad. As soon as you feel that dip, that's when you're hitting your brakes. Best braking zone, I'm sorry, best passing zone on the track is going into that final corner. Third gear.
Your lap time was 122.62. That puts you 0.36 off your best.
Okay, this time we'll sort of pay more attention to the S's as we go through there. First cone, brakes, and let's hit a little bit more curb this time. Not
Sector
bad.
time's okay.
Upset the car though, did you see that? Okay, the wheel hop, I downshifted to first just a tad aggressively. Second gear. Keep it in second here. You'll chip it out just a little bit, but that's okay. Get ready to open it up and short shift to third. Aim for that exit and then sort of track out a bit. Aim for the beginning of this curbing and then on the brakes almost immediately.
Sector 2 time is quick.
I meant to be farther to the right there for that right-hander. Need to get over more. I think I broke a little bit too late or I didn't turn aggressively enough. Notice how widely I'm taking this corner. The temptation is to dive it in deep. Only do that if you're passing somebody. You know, you don't want to be close to the inside curbing for that hairpin. You want to make the radius of the corner as wide as you can
The lap time was at 1:22.61.
maximize your exit.
You're now
It's also way more stable. A lot less steering input if you're you've got a wide radius. You're able to open up the wheel more as you're starting to put the power down, and as you put the power down with more wheel, it's going to want to break loose the rear tires, right? It's Tokyo drift. Don't want that.
Sector 1 time's okay.
The wall changes color now. Ooh, overcooked it. Kind of what I was talking about earlier, too much steering input. Try to get it tighter this time. There we go, a bit better. You can see how that gained me back a tenth or so. If you do heat up the rear tires by wheel hopping them there, man, I'm having trouble getting my exit out. We'll focus on that really big next time. But if you do wheel hop it going into that final corner, then the penance you pay is that you've sort of heated up the rear tires and your traction exiting the corner, which is already bad, is going to be really bad. So do be careful. Work on not wheel hopping into the two first gear corners. You can take it in second, it's just slower. The car doesn't rotate as well, and you need it to rotate.
Sector 1 time is good.
I was talking with somebody before Mosport yesterday about how in road racing you use all the parts of the car to slow it down and turn it. The transmission, the brakes, and the wheel are all things you use to change direction. So think about that and make sure you're using them all in harmony. If you're using a lot of wheel and not making the corner, then try braking earlier and let's focus on this. Nice and wide. Opening the wheel up a bit. Okay, I have not found the final corner yet. I thought I had before I turned on recording. Maybe not.
That was 122.91. You're currently 0.6 off your best.
Starting to feel the rest of the track though. We'll just keep working on that final corner, and so should you. But the trick that I want to tell you is start out really wide, ride the curbing as much as you can, getting close to those tire walls, and as you can start opening up the wheel, do so that you're going to have less lateral load on the tires.
Sector 1 is quick.
Notice here I'm on the left side of this yellow line. That's where the radius for this corner comes from. It does leave you open for overtakes there, so watch out for it. But if you're not under immediate threat, then the wider the line, generally speaking, the better. And absolutely in that right-hander back there going into the S's. Let's see if we can finally get this bloody hairpin. I'm braking a little bit earlier as I'm going down the dipper there instead of at the dipper. Man, Okay, guys, here's the case. That final turn is just going to be hard. It's going to be really
lap
hard.
time was
But that's,
22.83.
if you can figure it out, hey, you're better
Sector
than me,
3
and that's
is
okay.
0.28 off your best.
And you're going to pull away from some dudes. Once you get around them, if you can manage that, you're going to be able to run away, because people are going to lose entire seconds there spinning up their wheels. So I'm going to park, go out one more time on fresh tires, and then we'll see what I can do as far as a hot lap goes. Who knows? Maybe it'll suck.
Left front,
if it
95%.
sucks, I reserve the right
Left
to
rear, 91.
delete it from the recording.
Cold tires all round.
So we'll try it real fast, do a quick hottie, and then we'll jump out of the car and we'll talk about marker spotting. Remember to use all the track that you can. Like these yellow lines, man, they are suggestions. They're like speed limits. Do it if you're dull. I think they've changed the cones, by the way. It used to be that you could knock those cones around pretty good. Now they seem to really make a big clunk, like almost a damaging kind of clunk, so I'm avoiding the cones. Hot lap, hot lap. Ride the curb. Aim right. Into the bleachers. On the brakes down the hill, compromise, into the bleachers, and go. First cone, all the way to the yellow line. Hit the first curve, ride the second.
Sector 1 time's okay.
Change the wall, get to the left of the line, down to first. Short shift to second. Hop, hop. Get over, get ready to short shift back, corner opens up, short shift to third. First bit on
Sector
the brakes.
2 time is okay.
Ooh, I didn't mean to go down to second. It's okay. Why did I go down to second? Lost myself a tenth there. Okay, that's not the optimal line there, but I think we'll still end up with a green lap. Kept it in second too long. Let's do one more.
Your last lap time was at 1:22.03. That's your best lap in this session.
Little wheel hop there, and you probably can't see it as well as I just felt it, but the rear of the car started to slide, and that might have baked my rear tires and completely screwed up the rest of this lap. Precision.
Sector 2 is 2/10 off your best.
Okay, third gear for sure down there. Keep it out wide, keep it out wide. Alright, we'll call that a day. We'll get out of the car and take a look at what we got.
You've just done a 121.73.
But before we
Sector
do...
3 time is quick.
I can't get disqualified from my own testing session, right? This is a fun track, the full track layout if you've never done it, by the way. Get in a GT3 car or something and do it. It's a good track. The Miata is fantastic here. All right, let's see. Where's my spot? Hold on. Was up? Oh, there it is. Whee! The stock car doesn't fly as far. Some cars you can launch all the way to the stands on the other side. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, here comes the jump, baby. Yeah. Well, that's a great spot. Okay. Nice. Okay. So last lap was best lap, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna real quickly. What is it? Control Alt K or Control Alt K? All right. So here are my laps. Let's take a look at some settings real fast and stuff. Here are my laps. A few sighting laps just sort of figure things out. The laps that you just saw me running, and then the last 2 laps there where I tried to hot lap. The weather is so 56 Celsius, which is at oh, it's in garage, isn't it? So 132 is track temp. So that is what we're looking at here, folks, for these 122s on fresh tires. Of course, I do not expect you to be able to hold that. So 121.7 was the best lap. What we're going to do is just real quickly put it on far chase and try to look at this from this perspective here, coming off of the final corner. And I just want to preface by saying I don't think I hit this final corner right once this whole time. I'm missing probably a half second that I'll be finding during practice later because I did not hit this final corner correctly at all. So we'll start here. Is that slow-mo? Yeah, no, it's, oh man, crap. Always forget slow-mo's this one. I can't see over my wheel sometimes. All right, so like we were talking about, you can see my inputs down there to the left. So that was bad. But notice I'm in third gear, feathering the throttle. Now here, there's this tower up here. It's got the Ram sign at the bottom of it. I am aiming for that tower as my sort of track out point, and I want to bring the car around about 3/4 the way out toward the fence, and then back in because my goal is sort of twofold. Number one, I want to make sure that I'm able to see a car coming out of the pits just in case, right? Because the pit exit and your racing line will converge. And so accidents can happen there pretty easily. Watch for cars coming out of the pits, and it's harder to do the closer to the pits you are. So get out wide, be turning back in, you'll be able to see it better. Now, I'm going to go back into slow-mo here. So you're going to see me drift out. I'm in third, and I'm going to downshift to second somewhere around here. Right about there, I downshifted to second. See the fire coming out? And here I'm trying to bring it over to get my left wheels onto this curbing. A little bit wide there. I wanted to be probably another tire width to the left. Then here, I'm turning back over to the right to try to get barely on. You can see how this tire has sort of a, I'm sorry, this curbing has a bit of a terrace to it here. If you get too much on here, it upsets the car, gets too much of the contact patch off the ground, and it upsets the tire, makes it really hard to accelerate back off it. So when I'm doing this, I like to try to get my right wheels into this flatter spot right here. Even though I missed it here, it's fastest lap of the day so far, but I missed it right there. But you can see I've got a lot of slide there. You can even see me counter steering a bit. What I'm trying to do here is get out to where my left wheels are really close to maybe touching this curbing. It's pretty far out there. It's a pretty tight corner. Don't worry if you're not touching that curbing. You can be about where I'm at and be quick because all you're trying to do is get down the hill here back to the right because you do want to be right up next to this other curbing and on your brakes. So right about now-ish, close to now-ish, I'm coming off the throttle and getting on the brakes. As I say that, I go full throttle. It's weird in slow-mo and outside of the car. You can see I'm going down the hill. I'm coming down the hill here. So right about the time that the road has the tightest bit of the bend in the yellow, right in the line. Wow. And I'm trying to get all the way over. I'm compromising that corner and then coming back over. Now, again, I feel like I'm missing all these corners by just a tire width or so, but when I'm coming through here, what I'm thinking about is getting closer to that yellow line, getting over and getting really close to, but not getting onto this curbing. Now, the reason I say not getting onto this curbing, this is actually probably my best corner so far on this lap. The reason I say I don't want to get onto this curbing is because this is a corner I want to compromise. I want to end up over here so that I've got plenty of arc to turn right. This turn here is dropping away off camber, and there's dirt and not a ton of runoff. It's really easy to fall off of that cliff and get into the wall over there near those bleachers. So I'm trying to be just at the end of this curb, almost parallel to this yellow line right here, so that I'm turning into the right. And I do want to get up on this other curb just a little bit, not a ton. You don't want to launch off of it, but you do want to touch it. Let's see how I do here. I think I miss it again, but it's okay. Notice, ooh, that's good actually. This is really good. Notice how I'm parallel. I'm not trying to straight line this like an S, like you typically would, right? I am going like this, and then I'm going to do a hard right. I even overdo it a little bit, right? I do a little weight transfer, and maybe too much. I might have turned a little bit too late there. In fact, I'm sure I did, because at most I should be right about here, riding this crevice before the curbing goes up. It's kind of like the turn two curbing or so. How I was talking about a sort of it sweeps, it's too leveled. You don't want to ride it, you don't want to jump it, but you do want to get your tires about here, at least on the yellow line, really probably a little over the yellow line, with your aim to get back on the throttle being the end of these bleachers. When you can see the end of these bleachers out of your windshield, notice how, watch my throttle trace here in the bottom left. Notice the moment that I get back onto it in earnest. Too much. Okay, so I'm on the brakes. I'm trail braking just a little bit here. I'm in second gear. And wheel is straightened out. Look at the wheel. Look at the wheel. Look at the wheel. So the wheel got completely straightened out. I see the end of the bleachers. I'm starting to get back on the throttle, which means I might need to counter steer a little bit, right? It's going to want to break loose. Again, extremely low grip area here. I am doing my best to drive straight toward the end of those bleachers, knowing that I still need to get the car to rotate a little bit. So I'm going to use the throttle to rotate from the rear just a little bit while feathering the counter steer just a tad. So you can see that happening. We'll get back outside of the car here. Now here, what I'm looking for as my first braking marker is this first cone. When I see that cone, or the beginning of this, the alternate racetrack configuration, that's my braking marker, because my goal here is to hop the first two tires over this curbing. Again, you don't have to launch it. You don't have to get dramatic, but just get up in the air a little bit there so that you're hitting this curbing about halfway down and riding it out. I know you see it on TV. These guys will launch the curb and they go way out this way. I keep trying it, and I keep finding it to be slower. So either I'm doing something wrong and you'll figure it out and teach me, please, or something, because I think it's slower in iRacing. I've just never been able to get it to work. But here I'm on the brakes. As soon as I saw that first cone, I'm going to try to get over and hit this first curb. Not bad. And then about halfway down, I'm on this curb. Wheel is wide open. Look at the wheel. We'll go back and look at that again from inside the car. And you can see on the brakes with the first cone, just spotting that first apex as a first aiming point. But at this point, I'm already looking here. Like, you see where this wall comes down. If you were to continue to draw that line down, where the bleachers end off in the distance, if you were to continue to draw that line down, that's where I'm aiming my exit. That's where I want to start being aligned with this exit curbing. So I'm coming off the curb. There's definitely some slide going on, but at this point, the curb's going to help me arrest that, and I'm cruising on forward. Now, I kept talking about color changing at full speed. This wall, where the dark turns to light, that is my braking marker to get over here. And then you're going to see me sweep way over to the left. It is okay to have all four wheels all the way on the right, all the way on the left here. This is not racetrack. You know, your racetrack is over here. That's your racing line. So you can see I'm actually turning left a little bit here, getting all the way over, and then turning in. So let's back up and look at that from outside. All the way over, really late downshift to first. I was kind of wide there. I really should have been way tighter there. I remember kind of messing that up. But late downshift to first, I might have broke just a little bit too late here, because I should have been turning about now. Yeah, I turned 10 feet too late. Um, my aim here was to be here. We might look at my other quick-ish lap and see where that one came, because you can see how now I'm having to use way too much rear steer to get this thing to go around. But hey, got it back on track. And here, what I'm doing is I'm sighting. Boom. I'll put it in car real fast. I want to be coming in here and hitting this curb and that curb with the right wheels only, because, and notice how much right steer I still have there, right, as I'm coming over them. I don't necessarily want to be super parallel with this line on exit, but I don't want to be aiming here, right? It's a very tight corner, and my job is not this corner or that corner, it's the next corner. Something else I was talking to somebody about the other day at Most Sport is that one of the differences with road racing to internalize in your head is that you're not doing this corner. You're doing the section, the segment. You're trying to maximize the series of corners. And so don't ever think of the S's here as, 6 or 7 different corners. It's really 2 sets of corners. There's the first right, left, right, and then a second left, right. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm setting up this one so that I can get left here and really kind of ride this curve, because I do want to get pretty close to parallel here so that I can square off my exit out here. So think of that as a 3-corner series. Now at this point, you'll notice that my gas is already coming back on. It's another blind corner, but what you're looking at is this wall off in the distance. When you see that wall and this hot dog stand or whatever it is and this final cone, that means the corner's opening up. You need to be on the throttle. You need to be thinking about third gear, because you're going to hit third gear right about the time you crest this hill. So you just have to trust that that you're not oversteering the car, because if you start throttling up, the rear end's going to want to shoot around on you, right? This is an easy place to spin out, because if you're using too much throttle, too much wheel, then it'll want to go around on you. I kind of messed that up there. We'll look at that from outside of the car. Buddy, this is my fastest lap. I feel like I've messed up almost every corner. So going around here, notice I'm going to the right, and I'm getting right into this curb, not getting on it because I need the car to be settled. But I'm back on the throttle now, getting back to 100%. I kind of opened it up a little bit too much. That's why I got in the dirt. I lost probably 3/10 right there. So here, though, I'm just aiming to get onto the curbing as quickly as possible. Not terrible, pretty far to the left, and then I get back over. I'm keeping it in third here. It's okay to use this curbing. You just don't want to go off wide. This is the highest speed corner on the track. And so if you're off wide here, you'll hit this right here, and you'll spin out and head into this green wall or end up in no man's land over here, right? So not what you want to do. Then notice when the car unloads. I think that's going to be the answer. I'm going to have to do some more practice to really feel this out. But look at this line here. It's kind of easier to see actually from inside the car. See this line? You kind of want to be following this line. That's almost your line coming in, but I definitely want to be all the way out to this yellow line and following the pit sort of barrier line there, looking at this cone. My aiming point here is to be running parallel to those 2 cones as I come in, so that I can take as wide an arc through as possible. Let's take a look at my car positioning here. Yeah, see, I'm like basically parallel there. And I've been on the brakes this whole time. All right, the second the car unloads, straight on the brakes. Half brake, half brake, half brake, half brake. I never did go to full brake. That's important. I hope you've got load cells. I never did go to full brake. If you go to full brake, you're gonna lock it up. You're at least gonna wheel hop, but you're probably gonna lock it up and fly off into that tire barrier. So be careful about that. Blip your downshifts. I am not heel towing this car. I always just blip this car. And notice how wide I am here. The tendency for a lot of NASCAR drivers, for whatever reason, is to try to get in close to this curbing. You only need to do that when you're passing. I don't know how well I do here. I don't think very well. Yeah, at this point, my right wheels should be over the curbing. They really should. So I'd recommend focusing on, and it's what I'm going to be working on, is this corner. Focusing on this corner, and you should be really, your left wheels should be on this curb. Your right wheels should be over it. I'm not sure exactly where the off track is, but that's basically what you should be doing. And then what I'm struggling with right now is that. See that oversteer? I know that I should be starting to gas it up right here. You can see my throttle trace. I am starting to gas it up right there, but it's braking too much. So I think I've still got almost 90 degrees worth of wheel in it. I think that's my problem. So I'm going to start trying to get this down to 45 or so at this point, and be opening the wheel up so that I can exit parallel out here, parallel to that wall, and then I'll sweep out and then come back in here like this. So let's watch that back from the outside at pace and then from the inside at pace. Um, and we'll call out the shifts and stuff here, okay? So let's listen to the shifts. Second gear. I'm going to stay in second gear for a long time here. Nice thing about Sonoma is there's not a lot of shifting. Second gear, staying in second. First cone on the brakes. Hop the curb, halfway down the exit curb. All right, looking for the wall change. Boom. Short shift to third. You heard that? Don't do that. That was a mistake. And let's see my too wide hairpin. All right. What I'm going to do real quickly here is go into the cockpit. The other one was 3/10 slower, but let's look back at lap 18. So up on that curb, and then on that curb. This one's better. Let's do this. So same, this is 3/10 slower, but I think I hit a couple of corners better here. That's still a little off. I felt like I hit that one, but I did get out wider here. See if I get parallel. That's the goal. I do. Excellent. A little bit of curb. That was better. Then back on the throttle. Little curb. Not enough curb. Lost a little bit of time there. I should have gotten more curb back there. Much better that time. See how that was so much tighter. So I'm not sure. Oh, this one I messed up because I went down to the second gear in the second to last corner. That's what it was. I think that's where that 3/10 was. Okay. Okay. One more time in the car. Lap 19. This is the fastest lap. I'll leave the throttle traces up. Look at the where I start throttling it. Look at where I start throttling it. All right, I'm just starting to get back onto it here. I'm starting to really get back onto it here. I'm looking for this end of the bleachers. And then feel the dip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119 down, parallel, end of the bleachers. First cone, pop the first, halfway down the exit. Change of color, over the line, down to first, try to get as close as you can to this apex. Don't wheel hop like that. Hop, hop. Compromise. Get ready to open up. Wall, go. And what I mean by wall, go, remember? What did I mean by wall, go? There's this purple, yellow, white wall off in the distance. So that's my gas up marker. Compromise, and then wall, go. Don't do that. At these temps, I think this car has a 19 in it. High to mid 19s. So I think by the weekend I should be running in the mid to low 20s. And so I don't know if that gives everyone a target to shoot for. Again, at these temperatures, that might be bananas. But given how hot it was for Motorsport yesterday, or the other day, I thought, you know, we should probably prep for heat. There's one more thing I want to pull up. Give me a sec here. This came to mind, and it. Okay, I hope this doesn't come off as too self-congratulatory, but I think about this race quite often. This was Outsider Racing League a little while ago here. Let's see, 3 years ago. But this is my only broadcast win in ORL at Sonoma. And I think what's interesting about what's about to happen here is that I'm following Jeremy Miller. I'm running third at this moment, and I've been chasing Jeremy down. I had a little bit of pace on him. He's good, but I had a little bit of pace on him. Mitch was running away with it. There was no stopping Mitch. But anyway, I was hounding Jeremy, just looking for opportunities, and I was a bit more I had more pace than him. And I want to show you one of the places, or a couple of the places that I was talking about here. So,
and Klinger there. Chad trying to make his way back through.
There we go. Okay, this is me. I am in the turquoise Ford, and Jeremy is in the sort of purple pink, the purple pink Camry there. So watch our lines going into here.
Has got a lot of work cut out for him. Ooh, and a little bit of a look.
So see what I was talking about before. See how, all right, so I ducked out a little bit, right? I'd been pressuring him the whole time. I ducked out a little bit. But notice how when I decided not to pass him, how I committed to following this line parallel. And look where my turn-in point is versus his. Now, he could have been defending a little bit, but during the race, I noticed him doing this a lot. He was all the way over in the center of the track, turning in way too early. Look where I turn in.
From laughter that
and then look at the exit
down in the
here.
Braking, seeing if he could shake Jeremy Miller.
See how I'm just right on him here.
Look at how tight
now I spin him up a little bit here. But
laughter all over the back of Miller here. He just needs one mistake.
See me lift off.
Up through turns one,
down through the gears. Different car, I know, all that stuff. Very different car. But you can see how I'm carrying more speed, right? In those spots. Okay, second thing I want to show here is the tight hairpin, the other first gear corner. I think if you can nail those two things and get good at thinking of the S's as batches of corners, then I think you'll be okay. But what I want to show you here is the tight right-hander that takes you to the S's. Notice here the two different lines that I take, and pay attention to how our bumpers close up on exit here. So
of 5 now.
We both sort of hop there. Jeremy does a good job. I do a good job. But notice this. All right, look where my car is. Look where his car is. I am trying to get, after the wall's broken, I'm trying to get over the line. Jeremy is on the line. He's doing okay, but watch this.
Pressure on, but just
look at that turn-in point. So he's already turning. He's already got this wheel input in. He's tightened the radius of his corner by like 1.5, 2 car widths. Whereas I am way out wider and allowed to brake later and longer. More trail braking. Now look at this. I'm just all up in his business. So it took me a while to get by him. Like he ran really, really well. But anyway, Jeremy did a good job. But at the end of the day, hey, your boy Ben won the race. So
And he'll likely
you know,
still be ahead of.
again, I hope this isn't too self-congratulatory,
I don't
but
think he's going to ease up quite
I was
that
pretty
much.
excited about it. It was a lot of fun to win one of those broadcasts, especially in ORL where everyone's so competitive. But I thought that those are 2 minutes, 2 moments that stuck out in my head from that race that are some of the reasons that I won. I was easier on my tires, I was easier on my brakes, I was getting better mid-corner speed, all because I was opening up those two corners wider. Everything else is just the craftsmanship of learning your braking markers and your shifting points, right, to make sure you don't wheel hop, especially in the two tightest corners. But if you can master those two tightest corners, you set yourself up for the two major passing zones, right? So think about that, work on that, and I hope this lap guide, for whatever it's worth, helps you guys. So best of luck this weekend, and holler if you have any questions or want to get any feedback on your lap.